Habari ya jioni, Migoda, na habari ya jioni kwa wale ambao watatusikiliza. Mimi hapa ni Brother Benson, na tunataka kuwa na mjadala ya Monday ya leo. Migoda, vipi?
Niko salama leo, nasema tu nashukuru Mungu kwa wikendi njema, na vile vile pia nashukuru Mungu kwa siku ya leo ambayo ameniwezesha nikajiunge nawe katika kipindi hiki.
Okay, asante sana. Kuna mengi ambayo limetendeka katika jukwaa la siasa, si hata tu kwa siasa, vitu vingi tu zimetokea. Labda tukienda pale kwa jirani zetu wa Tanzania, unajua kuna ile tunaita makala yenye Rally Madoo alitoa, ile ilikuwa inaonyesha tukio iliyotokea tarehe 29 wakati walikuwa na uchaguzi, maandamano, na baadaye kawa Larry akatoa, kuna mapicha ambayo tuliona ambapo ilionyesha watu ambao walipigwa risasi. Ukaenda katika moshari pia ukaona kuna mili za watu ambao zilikuwa zimewekwa yani. Sasa unajua jana msemaji wa serikali anaitwa Msigwa, yeye pia alikuwa na kikao na wanahabari, akatoa pingamizi kwa yale ambao makala yalichapishwa na CNN ikiongozwa na Larry Madoo. Lakini kuna vitu ambazo labda hakujibu. Jambo la kwanza, aliulizwa idadi ya watu ambao walifariki, kwa sababu yeye ni msemaji wa serikali, inafaa kuwe na takwimu ama ambao wanajua. Na kitu ambacho pia hakujibu ni kwamba inasemekana kuna miili ya watu ambazo bado zijapokelewa na familia zao, wajulikani walipo. Hiyo pia hakujibu. Vile vile anasema kwamba anadai kwamba watu wa CNN hawakusikia upande wa serikali. Na kwa kufanya makala kama hayo, unajua lazima ufikie pande zote mbili, na venye tunajua ama kwa kawaida unapata kwamba upande wa serikali huwa haikuagi rahisi sana kutoa maelezo ama kutoa habari ambao wanajua kuhusu watakana. Akasema kwamba kuna ile tume ambayo ilibuniwa kuchunguza, itachunguza ndio watu wajue ukweli. So hiyo lipo pale nchini Tanzania. Na pia kuna watu ambao wameanza kutuma vitisho sana sana kwa Larry Madoo kutumia barua pepe, naweza sema kwamba short messages kwa simu yake. Nimeona hapo kwa mtandao, niona kuona wanamtisha, wanasema nini. Pia kuna wale ambao wanampongeza kwa kazi nzuri ambao wamefanya. Hiyo ipo. Jambo ambalo pia niliona pale kwamba Tanzania sana sana bado naona kwamba wanahabari bado hawako na uhuru, kwa sababu ni kama wanataka kufanya wanahabari, inamaanisha kuwa lazima useme yale ambayo serikali wanatenda ambayo ni mzuri, lakini huwezi wakosoa. Hata wakati ambao walipatiwa nafasi wanahabari wao wenyewe kuuliza maswali ambao walikuwa wanauliza kwa uoga fulani. Unaweza ona mtu yani mwanahabari anauliza swali lakini unaona nakuna kichwa, inamaanisha kwamba hako uhuru papi anauliza maswali. So jambo labda wewe ni kitu gani labda unaweza sema kuhusu hilo jambo ya Tanzania na msemaji mkuu wa serikali kukuja kukaa na kikao na wanahabari na kukana yale ambao yalitendeka kule? Na kabla hata hujaingia, unajua kuna rais alikuwa anasema kwamba kuna mavijana ama watu ambao waliambiwa waende waandamane watafute haki. Alikuwa anaigiza hiyo tume kwamba waulize ni haki gani. So kuna maswali mengi pale Tanzania, especially tukiuliza na kulingana na tukio lote la ili litokea tarehe 29 Oktoba 2025.
Asante sana. Kwanza ningependa kusema kwa yule msemaji wa serikali, yeye kulingana na kazi yake ya kuzungumzia serikali na kila wakati kama anapopatiwa nafasi ya kuzungumza, akuna jukumu ya kuhakikisha kwamba ametetea serikali. Yeye kazi yake ni kutetea serikali na kuzungumzia serikali. Iwapo serikali inafanya maovu, kazi yake ni kutetea serikali. Iwapo serikali inafanya mambo mazuri, kazi yake ni kutetea serikali. Sasa inalingana ni hali gani yeye hutetea serikali. Unapata yule hapo katika nchi ya Tanzania, kuna wale waliojeruhiwa, miili zilipotezwa na watu walipoteza maisha zao kutokana na yale ghasia yalitokea huko Tanzania. So unapata yeye kazi yake ni kutetea. Iwapo unapata kuna watu wametokeza kama kina Larry kutoa wazi yale yaliyotokea, lakini kuna wale ambao kazi yao kutetea serikali ya kwamba hayo yote hayati kufanywa na serikali. Wale watu waliokufa si serikali iliwaua. Hata hapa nchini yetu tunapata wakati tulikuwa tunalilia ya kwamba watu wanatekwa nyara ovyo ovyo, watu wanauliwa. Kuna wakati unapata wale wasemaji wa serikali, wale wanaozungumza serikali, walikuwa wanatokea wazi ya kwamba hao watu ambao wanatekwa nyara wanajiteka wao kwa wenyewe, si serikali inafanya hayo maovu. Na unapata kulingana na yule mwanahabari Larry Madowo, unaposema kuna wale ambao wanamtishia maisha yake na vile vile kuna wale wanaompongeza katika kazi nzuri anaofanya. Mimi ningependa tu kusema sheria ziko tofauti. Unapata nchini Kenya sisi tuko na uhuru, haswa hao watangazaji na pia zile vyombo vya habari wako na uhuru ya kufanya habari zao vile wanaotaka. Wako na uhuru ya pia kuhakikisha kwanza wamechapa zile utasema images katika mtandao, na vile vile wako na haki zao. Kwanza uko na haki yako kibinafsi kama mwanahabari, na pia mko na haki zenu kama wanahabari, na pia kuna haki za vyombo vya habari. Sasa unapata nchini Kenya ni nchi huru sana, na nchi ambayo ni nchi ya kidemokrasia ambaye mtu ako na haki. Sasa unapata wale wanaotishia Larry kutoka Tanzania, wao wako katika ile mila yao, wamezoea kwamba mambo kama hayo ni mambo mageni nchini yao, na sisi mambo kama hayo si mambo mageni. Sisi tuko na uhuru ya habari na vile vile wanahabari. Sasa unapata kuna tofauti ya nchini ya Kenya na Tanzania. Mwisho unapata wale wanaozungumza mambo na haki ya kwamba vijana walipojitokeza kwa wingi katika barabara na kufanya maandamano na kutetea kwamba haki yao, wanauliza haki gani walikuwa wanataka katika barabara. Ningependa kusema hivi, unapata yule aliyekuwa mpinzani katika nchi yao anaitwa Tundu Lissu, yeye mwenyewe alifungwa jela na alikuwa na haki ya kung'ang'ania katika kiti cha urais, lakini haki zake zilikeukwa. Sasa wakati haki zake zilikeukwa kisheria, wale wafuasi wake wako na haki ya kufanya maandamano na wako na haki ya kutetea yule kiongozi wao akuwepo katika debe. Sasa unapata vile vijana wanatokelezea kwa wingi siku ya uchaguzi na wanapigwa risasi, wanapoteza maisha yao, alafu wanauliza haki gani? Alafu unapata tena yule msemaji wa serikali anajitokeza wazi na kusema ya kwamba hakuna mtu aliyepoteza maisha yake, na vile vile hayo maovu waliofanywa ni serikali. Sasa tunauliza swali la mwisho ni, tumekubaliana kwamba kulikuwepo na maovu, watu walipoteza maisha zao, lakini ni kina nani walifanya hayo jambo? Kama si polisi, kama si serikali, basi watokelezee wazi juu wao ni serikali na wako na vifaa mwafaka wazafanya uchunguzi na wajue ni kina nani na watu, na wakishapata au waliofanya hiyo kitendo wote wanaweza chukuliwa hatua na kufungwa jela. Sasa tunasema ya kwamba kama wako na ya kwamba hakuna mtu yote alihusika, yule mtu ambaye ni serikali, tuseme kwamba polisi, basi au wahalifu wote wakamatwe na wapeleke katika mahakama.
Asante sana. Naona ndugu yangu Joseph pia amejiunga na sisi, nitampatia nafasi asalimie wasikilizaji wetu vile vile pia atakuwa na nafasi nzuri pia kutoa kauli yake kulingana na yale ambayo habari ambayo yanatokea Tanzania, sana sana ukiangalia kwa undani sana msemaji wa serikali Msigwa, jambo ambalo alisema kuhusiana na yale makala yalitolewa na Larry Madowo wa CNN. Na vile vile unajua, ukienda katika mtandao pia utapata kwamba pia kuna baadhi ya wanachadema wengi ambao labda kauli yao si sawa na ya serikali, labda wana maoni tofauti kulingana na jinsi serikali inaendeshwa ama uongozi wa Madam ama tuseme Mama Samia Suluhu. Unapata kama wengi wao, nilikuwa napitia, napata kwamba wengi wao hawapo, ni kama walitekwa nyara, wengine walienda wakaandikisha tuseme kwamba statement kwa polisi, baadaye kutoka hapo wajulikane waliko. So unapata kwamba utekaji nyara bado ni kitu ambacho bado kinaendelea kule nchini Tanzania, sana sana wale ambao wanatafutiana kimawazo na serikali, ama wale ambao labda wanapinga serikali kwa hoja nzuri, ama wale ambao ni wanachadema. Unapata kwamba wengi wao hawajulikani waliko, labda siku moja ni vijana wadogo wadogo, si watu ambao ni vijana ambao umri zao ni watu ambao wako na bado wako na maisha marefu inawangoja, lakini unapata kwamba hawapo. So Tanzania bado iko katika njia, yani kwa kidemokrasia, na hata pale ambapo wanaenda bado sidhani kama wamekombolewa, bado wako katika ukoloni wa ndani sana sana, unaweza sema hivyo, ukoloni wa ndani ambao inatoka labda na serikali ambayo inawaongoza, ama wale ambao wamepatiwa jukumu ya kuangalia kwamba wamewatetea. Naona tena ndugu yetu Joseph ametoroka, najua atarudi, labda kuna jambo ambalo anaenda kuangalia. Hey Joseph, habari gani?
Habari gani kaka yangu, mnanisikiza kweli?
Uko shwari? Tunasikiza vizuri baba.
Nilikuwa na kashida kidogo na hitilafu, nadhani watu wetu walinikujia bwana. Ndio sasa lazima nikae nikiwa ange, ukisikia wanataka kudhurumu unakaa ange kabisa.
Ebu kabla hujaendelea tu, labda sijui kama uko na habari kama hii. Juzi nilikuwa naangalia habari nyingine kutoka kwamba kuna huyu kijana ambaye alikuwa sijui yuko Dubai ama yuko wapi, ambapo alikutana na seneta wa Kiambu Karungu Thang'wa, akaonesha yani makazi ya Wakenya wengi. Baadaye nasikia akakuja akakamatwa, na bibi yake pia saizi hayuko, lakini wakati ambapo bibi yake anakosa kuwa bibi yake alikuwa amekufa ati alikuwa amekufa. Hii ni habari, bado sina hakika, lakini yeye mwenyewe pia ameshikwa koroni. Joseph, uko na hiyo habari kweli?
Sijapata hiyo habari, lakini naweza chunguza alafu nitakwambia.
Ya, tutaichunguza. Niliona TikTok, lakini sasa nilisema labda kama mmoja wenyu anaweza kuwa ako na habari kama hiyo, labda anaweza okay, Joseph, what can you say about what has happened in Tanzania, especially the government spokesman reacting to the documentary of Larry Madowo?
Yeah, thank you. I want to greet Miguda. I did not greet my brother Miguda when I came. I hope he's doing fine. The problem is actually the government in Tanzania, they cannot admit to the truth. What happened to Tanzanians? They are trying to cover up the story, and we really know what happened. We truly know what happened. It was being shown by people inside Tanzania who are taking those videos. Have not CNN who has gone with camera to take those videos. Those videos were taken by ordinary Tanzanians as they were filming when the police were shooting at them. So you will mean that CNN went with the camera there and Larry Madowo was there picking that evidence. That evidence was taken by most of the Tanzanian youth, and you can hear them talking. Wanasemaga Wakenya wanaga Kiswahili sanifu. You can hear when those guys are talking, you can hear the Swahili they are speaking. Ni ile Kiswahili sanifu ile ya Tanzania. So I'm wondering what ni ile yao. So I'm wondering what this woman is saying together with the spokesman, that ati hii mambo ni Wakenya walikuwa wameingia Tanzania, even though Kenya wataingiaje Tanzania na waanze kutoa mvurugu na kuna polisi wa border, you know. It's not this lady has nothing to tell the world. She just want to clean herself and clean herself among public, because she has become a shame to women leadership in the world. So I think she will never recover from this. I told you, she will never, because she already did the killing. She will never recover from this. It will be like that till when she will leave that office. She will be tainted by blood till she leaves that office. The blood of those people who are killed that day, they are still crying for justice, and this woman is just, but it's like he's smiling on their graves and their bodies. So I think she will never have peace. And Tanzania, till this lady leaves, I think is when Tanzania will be able to emerge as a country and move forward. But with this lady, even if it takes 10 years, the Tanzania will not move forward from what happened in the elections of 25th, was it November? October.
That is from 26th.
October.
And the peak of everything all, I think it was on 29th. That was the peak of the
yeah, but I'm happy Trump is dealing with these guys one by one. You know, these guys, they have pretended they are becoming dictators in this world, and they don't want to accept even elections. And some of them, you know, it's very funny. You know, today US has just repealed the money that was given by Biden to Ruto, by Kenya to Kenya government. He has repealed $7 billion, which was given for infrastructure that was released by Biden. Trump has revoked it. So I think Trump is dealing with America first. I hope African leaders could deal with African first and could deal with their country first before they go and deal with other things. So this lady will never recover. That is just but it. She will never recover from international condemnation. It will continue to haunt her till she leaves that office. The blood of those young people and the blood of those, you know, I saw that video of that woman who was shot. The blood of that woman and the innocent unborn kid will continue to hunt that woman till she leaves that office. It will not be business as usual.
All right, thank you, Joseph. You know, there are things that if happened during your regime, not even you leave the office, they will be in your life history for long, and especially even for those who are covering up about the issues that are happening. Somebody like the spokesperson, Musigwa. You know, you might be still enjoying power, but let me tell you, what usually happens when a true government will come into place, they will visit those historic books, and you will be among those who will, because like justice will one day be served. Follow the Bible, guys. Women are under men. Yes. Asante sana PGR. Well, thank you so much for coming. Then what does it say? Satan. Satan will fight with what God has made, and only fools will fight the scriptures. That is coming from comments from all right. Oh, sorry, let me just read from where I did not see this one. Guys, tell me which woman has ever led a society of men and it thrive. Men are the breadwinners, not women. So that is the comment. All right, thank you so much for joining us, Joseph. And Miguda, thank you so much. We want to look at what happened during the weekend and this morning. Among other things, today Rigathi Gachagua was blocked by police several times on his way to Narok, but he was able to reach Narok and address the rally. As per the information that I'm getting, we will talk in that again. And something also that I want you to give your views on is about the road to the Asian giant, because this is something that the president has always been talking about. But I took my time and look at some of the strategies that were put in place by Singapore, especially when it comes to corruption. Hello. Hello. Anaitwa Boriti.
Hello.
Habari gani kaka?
Na kaka, hello. Kaka.
Si kaka, huyu anakuwaga mrembo, namjua.
Kaka, unasikia vile unasema kaka. Hello.
Ai, sabani, pole, pole. Habari gani?
Kaka ni Miguda.
Pole. Uko aje?
Nashukuru Mungu, asante kwa kuuliza. Je, wewe?
Mimi niko kwema.
Nawaona hapo.
Tuko na mjadala leo.
Yeah.
Tunataka kuzungumzia mambo ambayo kinaendelea nchini ama mambo ambayo kinatokea East Africa, na sana sasa tunataka kuangazia sana mambo ya nchi yetu sasa Kenya, ambapo nilikuwa natoa tu habari tu, muktasari ingine tu fupi tu kuhusiana na mambo ya yale rais alikuwa amesema kwamba Kenya inataka kutoka kwa third world to first world. So what happened was this. I tried and I did some research and some searching on Singapore, especially on how the Singapore is dealing with corruption, or what did they put in place, especially to deal with corruption. And I found that they had almost zero tolerance to corruption, and their corruption stands on what we call, they're almost like 4 pillars. We have laws, adjudication, public administration, and enforcement. So these are the political will. So that is what control them. But if you go through even at the political will, the people's this what the people's action, that was the minister Lee Kuan Yew. When the People's Action Party, PAP, was elected into government in 1959, the PAP was determined to build an incorruptible institution and meritocratic, whereby it was people are employed on merits, So there are laws that were passed, especially there was a Corruption Act, and this was, and we call it PCA, and the Corruption, Drug Trafficking, and Other Serious Crimes Confiscation of Benefits Act, CDSA. So those are the acts that were passed. Then there was adjudication, and this one almost deals with the judiciary, whereby the judiciary should always, be the watchdog and giving those rulings. There's also enforcement, the Corruption Practical Investigation Bureau, which is like our anti-corruption that deals with that. Then public administration, whereby the Singapore Public Service guided by Code of Conduct, which sets out high standard of behavior expected from public officers based on principle of integrity, incorruptibility, transparency, the practice of meritocracy in the public service. So those are some of the things that they put in place. So, and the law enforcement. So if you read all this, you find that they are put, so they're so strict, such that if you find yourself practicing or going against this, the consequences are dire to you, especially, and the public also participate. Now, when you come to our country, whereby we want to run in the first world, because the corruption was one of the pillars that they said they have to deal with. And if you look at how we are with the corruption, sometimes we see, even from the public themselves, the public, as how we sometimes we go to the government offices, we carry small money so that our services, to get the services quicker or faster than those who have been there before, and we are saying we are running in the first world. Based on this, to start with you, she left. To start with you.
She's there.
Oh, Miguda left. Let me.
It's Miguda who dropped. Miguda who dropped.
So, to start with you, what can you say about our first world dream that the president is sharing, if you compare with the policies that Singapore Corruption Control Framework that they had? Do you see ourselves actually even being in that path?
Right. Whose question is this for? Is this my question or just a question?
It is your question.
Okay. Now then.
I really love you talking. You know, I really love your ideas. So yeah, it's yours.
You do remember who I am, don't you?
Yeah, I remember.
I'm glad. How are you, my brother?
I'm good.
Yes, I'm very
Nice.
fine. I'm very fine.
Nice to meet you both. I've always followed you, even when I'm not joining in. I'm always with you all the time, you know. Yeah, but for me, with that one there, umenipoteza like Miley Kumi. I don't follow this our stupid, excuse my language. I don't follow this our stupid kind of politician verbatimly. But because they tell us, I don't believe anything they say. Because Ruto was saying that we live in a fast world. Fast world, I think he said. How tutaishi aje kwa fast world enye we are walking with the wheelbarrow. You know, fast world, they're using smart cars, they're using electric cars, flying gadgets, cars. Lakini sisi moto yao ni wheelbarrow. How does that marry? Hiyo mbili haikuji pamoja. Yeah. Mimi sana mimi nimeingia kwa hii channel kwa sababu nataka kuongelea kitu moja. As a woman, I think I have a massive right to say this. Kwa sababu ingekuwa mwanaume nasema hii, watu wangemwambia, oh, you're being misogynist, you're sexist and all that. Acha nikae chini kidogo. As a woman speaking on this one, mimi kama Mkristo through and through, I follow Christ. Biblia inasema from the beginning, mtu wa kwanza kujengwa kwa ulimwengu alikuwa ni mwanaume. Kuna reason why God created a man. And there's a reason why in the Bible there's loads of men than women. Women, we are weak. Don't get me wrong, wanawake sisi ni wajanja when it comes to men. We can manipulate you to the core. Tunaweza kuchukua kilenyi tukeka kwa mfuko yetu. When we want us, when it suits us, we can manipulate men. But really, in being realistically, wanaume nyinyi mko na upper hand. Strength mko nayo. Logically, you think logic. Women, we are emotional. We'll cry at any advertisement. Your chocolate imeonyeshwa, a woman will absolutely be on tears. Men are logic. You come with the decision making. Tararara, mara moja shajua hii inafaa iende hapa na blah blah blah. Amesort out. Wanawake tutakaa hapo tukigossip. Nasema hii kusema, nakumbuka Suluhu, huyo mwanamke wa huko sitaki kumwita jina because she's not irrelevant. She's so irrelevant to me. Absolutely. Akikuja kwa kicheo, kuna mfano ingine sita mention hapo. Watu walisema, oh, what a lovely idea. Oh, it's about time. Women to be a leader. This is beautiful. This is wonderful. Mimi nilikuwa kwa comment section kisema, since when? Biblia nasema mwanamke should always, hata kwa kanisa, mwanamke should be silent. Mwanamke afai a preach kwa pulpit. Mwanamke afai akue pastor, akue bishop. Women should be silent when it comes to men. We can evangelize on the street. We can do that, absolutely. Lakini kuna pahali, we need to know women where they belong. And men need to know where they place women. Lakini msitunyanyase pia, kwa sababu pia sisi tuna ujanja kivingine. Mwanamke at the same time anaweza kuwa anapika, anaosha, ako na mtoto kwa mgongo, na huku kuna mtoto mwingine anatambaa, atamuona. Lakini situation kama hiyo, wanaume wajuage ufanye nini? Because you're not multitaskers. Women, we can do all that at the same time. Kwa hivyo nasema hivi kusema, Suluhu kufanya yenye amefanya, I didn't agree for that woman to be a president. I don't believe in that at all. I don't believe in woman leadership. Hakuna nchi yote shakuwa led with a woman na ikafanya vizuri. Kuanzia enzi za Adam na Eva, hakuna kabisa mwanamke anafaa lead. Angalia tu Kenya yetu, wanawake nye tuko nao wengi. Some of them are absolutely very viable, very opinionated. Lakini what do they do? What do they do? County zao, they don't thrive. Hakuna mwanamke apart from Wamushomba. Where is she? We don't hear from her anymore. Because women, we are not born leaders. Men are. And we need to know where we place a woman. Pali popote kama kuna MCA, tafadhali ni msichoose wanawake. Mimi ni mwanamke, don't choose them. Choose a man, but choose a good man. Msichoose just a man. Choose good men.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, okay, nilikuwa najisikiza hapo kidogo. Nasema hivi, ninasema hii Tanzania, it doesn't surprise me. It does not surprise me because the world we live in right now, As a Christian, najua utanikata nikisema hii, najua utanikata, tafadhali naomba radhi, usinikate tafadhali nisikize. I want to say something very controversial, kwa sababu says, unajua, when you talk about God, people try to muzzle you because people don't want to hear anything to do with God. They want to shut you up. In this platform on this earth, we are, that's a fact. It's written in stone, itakuwa hapo. Nataka kusema saizi, angalia vile what's happening in Nigeria. Now, I'm so sorry to use your platform to say this. Nigeria, Christians are being slaughtered on a daily basis, at least 200 in a week, and nothing is going. It's absolutely kila kitu ko silent. Wanakuwa slaughtered na Muslim. All the time. Kenya pia experience that thing. Sasa there's not any difference. Suluhu Hassan kukuwa Wakristo uko Tanzania, kwa sababu Wakristo pia wanakuwa killed uko Gulf area. There's something happening in the world. And kama ni mtu uko hapa unanisikiza na wewe ni Mkristo na naamini Mungu, stand up for what is right and what is right for God. Don't usisimame for what is wrong. When it comes to religion, religion is created to absolutely suppress others. Religion imetengenezwa na binadamu. Lakini when kusema una follow Christ, Christ is the creator. Hakusema fuata hii religion. No, you follow Christ, not religion, not XDA, not Muslim, not Christianity, not Catholicism, which zote zinapeleka watu Jehannam. When you practice religion, I'm telling you for fact, you're sitting on that first class plane heading to hell. Nyinyi ndio mekaa hapo nyuma pilot. Kwa hizo viti nzuri zimeenda huku mguu unaweka huku juu. Hizo viti za first class zimebeba watu wenye na worship religion. That plane is taking you straight to hell without non-stop any pit. Yeah, that's all I want to say passionately.
All right, thank you so much for for sharing with us.
She's always fiery.
We really appreciate, because here we are to discuss the issues and also to share what we have. Thank you so much for you sharing with us. And Miguda, maybe to start with Joseph, because I did ask about the 4 pillars that actually made Singapore where they are. And this is the path that maybe as a country we are trying to take, or the president is having that path to Singapore. But like when we measure so much on corruption, and there are those pillars that they put in place that was anchored to make them where they are. If you look at that and you compare with what it's happening, you know, in our country, do you see that path we are headed there? Or we need to put up some strategies before we start walking that path?
Thank you for that question. I love that we have good panelists here in the show today. So I'll start with the questions you have asked about where or what are the roadmaps that we are taking as a country. Yes, we came here and said having a vision is not bad. Having a vision to become a first world country is not a bad vision. But what are the ways to get there? You know, you cannot say just wake up one day and say that I'll send members of parliament to let them come with laws to make us a first world country. That is something that it needs all sectors to have their together and they are working together. And don't forget also, when you're becoming a first world country, you need democracy in your country. You need a place where even opposition is thriving. Because today I've seen a case of where opposition has been the showdown has been police tear gassing them and not letting them to speak. So as we are talking about becoming a first world country, we should also let democracy thrive. So the roadmap to becoming a first world country, I came and led them here out. And I started with industrialization. I saw our brother Laban was saying that first infrastructure and energy. It's okay. I don't disagree with the Laban saying infrastructure and energy. Those are one of the pillars that you need if you want to become a first world country. But now the problem is our infrastructure improving? Because if you look at the of us having a road which is a highway from Nairobi. Let me talk of it from Limuru to Kisumu. That road is not even dual. It's a single lane where vehicles are passing each other, and that is a big issue, because if the infrastructure around you is not even perfected, how will you tell us that we are going to become a first world country? If you look at energy is one of the things that Brother Benson, 1 minute.
Okay, all right, thank you. Miguda, Miguda, maybe if you can give us your overview based on the 4 pillars or 5 pillars that has been put in place, especially for Singapore to see them where they are, and especially when it's corruption, and you look at how we are dealing with.
Okay, I'm very sorry. I had some engagement. Sorry. So
no
I was saying I wanted to finish so that Miguda can come in.
Yeah.
I was talking about energy. If you look at energy, what forms of energy do we have? We have tried to tap in wind energy and the solar energy, but this solar energy and wind energy even has not been perfected. We still have struggles with it. We have 3 forms of power that we can use. The one which is for the dams. Brother Benson, how many dams have been created since the government took over? Since not even the government took over, since the Jubilee government from 2013. How many powered dams have we had? I think the only dam which was created was only the Dhiba Dam, and that Dhiba Dam even is not a powered dam. It's just an irrigation dam. It's not the power kind of dam that you would wish. Other countries, I wish they could be following the Ethiopian route. Ethiopian is trying to get to the second world. They are trying even to have dams. You saw the dam that they built. That is the dam which will provide energy for Ethiopia for quite a while and for a long time. But in Kenya, we don't have even power. Electricity is an issue. We have who is the investor who will come? Because when you need to become a first world country, you need investors. Which investor will come to the country when there is power outrages? That anytime you hear power has gone. So this fallacy of us becoming a first world country, the vision is good, but it is a fallacy, because becoming a first world country, you need to shun things like even corruption. Corruption has become rampant in this government. That when it entered, how many corruption cases have we seen in this government? We have seen we had the one for edible oil. Then we came the one for fertilizer, fake fertilizer. We have had so many other corruption cases that even have not been able to have not been able to be taken to court, and anything has been taken about them. So also, Brother Benson, we have a problem in Kenya. Yes. We have a problem of representation. There is no way you are going to tell me that you want to build a first world country and the salaries that you are paying to these people who are overrepresenting us. We already have 47 counties. And I think these 47 counties, they are overrepresenting us. So what does that happen to the economy of the country? It broadens the payment method, where you find so many people are being they are being receiving salaries, and these salaries, there's no we need to borrow money to pay these salaries, Brother Bess. We don't even have money to pay our salaries. We need to ask for loans so that we can be able to cater for these salaries, because of the big workforce that is there up, who are calling themselves politicians. So what I was thinking of first is better even we could be having reduced overrepresentations in these certain areas. But we are still talking about a first world country, and we are still even struggling with even problems with rural roads. Rural places have not even been built. If you look at these towns, some of them, you go and look even the infrastructure that is there. You cannot be saying you're going to be a first world country. Maybe they are talking about first world Nairobi, but not first world Kenya. Because if it is first world Nairobi, you can try to get the systems like even internet, Brother Benson. You know, in Kenya, there is areas you'll go and you don't have even network coverage. Okay. There is no network coverage. How many airports do we have in Kenya? How many main airports do we have? We have only 3 airports. We have one, Jomo Kenyatta, Kisumu, and Mombasa. Those are the only airports which are viable. And maybe the one which was built in Isiolo
Kisumu still is not receiving international.
Yeah, because even how it is made, it is not an international airport, Brother Benson. We still have a long way to go. How many airports do you think US has? US, because US is a first world country. How many airports do you think a country like Japan has? Because it's a first world. How many airports do you think Singapore has? And what is the magnitude of its airport? You know, we have so much issues that even our airport capacity cannot be held. I wish you go to the arrivals terminal and you see how we are received in the arrivals terminal, my brother. It is a shame that in the arrival terminal you go like it is a workshop. It is like a warehouse. So let's stop this fallacy of run. You know, this is our president anapenda kuongea sana, and there is too much talking without action. You know, they say too much talk without action is faith without action, or too much talking does not help. It is a nuisance. Thank you. I see Robert.
Sorry, just quickly.
Okay, go ahead.
Just quickly. So sorry. Just want to say something. Just quickly. Sorry, Joseph. I love what you said there. Faith without action is dead. That's a Bible verse. I love it. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you so much. And Miguda, maybe in brief, if you look at that path, especially I'm measuring on corruption and how corruption is rampant in our country, whereby every time even a tender is done, somebody has to get a kickback. And if you look at the pillars that were laid down by the Singapore, if you get a kickback, that is the end of you. So how are we going to be in that path of the giants of the Asians?
Actually, let me begin by riding on Ayaga's point. I saw Ayaga has a very good point there. Then I'll contribute my own thoughts.
Yeah,
it is, William Ruto. People knew him. The problem has always been that some people pretended that, or out of tribalism, they decided to vote for him. But we tried to give them civic education about bottom up. The issue of Venezuela, the South American countries, think Chile. But they never listen. They thought that it will come to reality. But we said before elections that these things is not practical. And even the issue of trickle down, that from the Azimio part of it was never practical, because even the Azimio people borrowed it from Barack Obama, the trickle down economic model. Then now this were bottom up economic. Those things are not realistic. So until we understand that, you must understand the person speaking. And in a lighter note, right now, he has a new strategy of first world countries, the Asian tigers, the first world countries. What has happened to bottom up? Because he was the institutor of the bottom up. What has happened? Now it has changed. So we must read him as the president. I must know how he's going to take us. Now, that's Ayaga's point. Now, what I want to say is that first, you understand that when he speaks, people tend to imagine that he's the sole bearer of ideas, that he understands is better than anybody. And that's why he has managed to bully the opposition that they don't have brain. But that's not the case. People have brains. Many people have brains, even the opposition team. They have brains. They are able to think. But what has happened is that he has managed to make people believe that he's the sole bearer of everything. And when he's talking about the Singapore or the South Korea way, if you look at it, why now? What has motivated him to speak about? Who asked him? Who want to go to the Singapore, South Korea? Is it politically motivated speech? Because we are not interested in whatever it's telling us. Our main issue here, we have some issues that are pressing Kenya right now. We have the issues of unemployment. We have the issue of odious debt. And we have also to talk about the public finance management. How do we manage our public finance? That's what the problem is. We are not interested on what he's telling us about the Singapore, the bottom up, or whatever's happened. How can we go to the Singapore or the South Korea, but we haven't managed our public finance? How are we going to manage our public finance? We understand right now The elephant in the house is corruption from the executive, parliament, and even on a lighter note, the devolved county. You find out that there are even some functions that are supposed to be undertaken by the county government, but the president has overlapped everything, is doing everything. Markets is carrying out the issue of markets, is carrying out everything. So we don't understand where is the distinction between the county government operations and the national government operations. We don't understand. So until we get it right as a people that there are some mandates to be undertaken by the county, there are some mandates to be undertaken by the president, and also the issue of corruption. There's no way we can go there without corruption. And if you look at our system in this Kenyan context, when someone speaks, people believe that is the only person who has the ideas, who knows. No, you can't do it without consultation, concurrent, whereby you need to come to the people and have a practical, realistic view of the things and work on those issues. Like you can there are some people who are saying right now that if I'm elected the president, the first thing I'll do, I'll leave the issue of the odious debt that we will not pay debts. We cannot pay the debts that we were never consulted as the people. There was no public participation. People just sat somewhere, then decided to borrow. Then they want the Kenyans people to pay. How? The debts that we were never involved to participate, we will not pay. That one must be taken. And also, the public finance management. That's what the problem is. Because there is no way we can have all these ideas each and every circle of elections, that we have a new thing to preach to the electorate. And after we have got ourselves into office, now we change to another thing, a new things to impress our electorates. That is wrong. Right now, he is the president of the Republic of Kenya. He has roles and functions. He has a duty, including if he is seeing that the country is going to the wrong direction, he can render his resignation, because that is one of the things he can do. And let us not lie to our people that we can go to Singapore within a span of 2 years or so, 6 months.
No, if you listen to his speech from the State of the Nation address, it was like a 10-year. It is a plan for 10 years. So in the 10 years, he has 2 years and another 5 years. Though that is like around 7 years, with maybe another 3 years for who that might come from his successor. That's how I'm looking at it.
Okay, that's I understand whatever he's saying, but if you understand the democratic government, there is a time whereby it is periodical, whereby a certain period of time some new person must come to the government, or some new regime must come in. Like when Kibaki was there, Kibaki left, Uhuru came, Uhuru left. Right now we have Ruto. Whatever Kibaki did, the Jubilee government, they strengthened some, but they also decided to do away with others. When Ruto came, Ruto did away with Linda Mama, he did away with many things, even Kazi Mtaani. So the question we are asking, even if you have the strategy to put Kenya to Singapore or South Korea, how sure are you that the next regime will come and take us back to Tanzania? What is doing right now? It's taking us where we came from. It's taking us back to 80s, dark days, and we have bid by to dark days. So if he's taking us back to 80s, abductions, extrajudicial killings, the issue of not following the rule of law, the issue of not understanding the distinction between national and county government, whereby there is no surety in governance. The issue of public finance, we have seen corruption, but we have bid buys. Like when, even you understand, when people are doing Kenya certificate of primary education and Kenya certificate of secondary education, the Uhuru government, and they were together. It was the principal to Uhuru Kenyatta, deputy principal. They paid for the candidates, but right now candidates are paying that exam fee. So if the current regime is taking people back, and the same regime want to project a 10-year plan for the so-called the Singapore and South Korea. Who told you the next president? Who knows the next president? And what if he goes for one term and the United Opposition came to power? How sure are you that the United Opposition will going to implement your 10? So in terms of democratic government, you cannot project for the people that are in the next 10 years or in the next 5. No, you need to work within the span you have been given, that you are democratically elected within this period of time. What can you implement your money? That's why you got manifesto. So what has changed from the manifesto, which put him in office, and even before doing any one of them, it's not projecting a new manifesto for purpose of campaign. So to me, I can just say, when we are serious about Singapore from the word go, we ought to have ensured that pre-corruption, and we ought to have ensured that these so-called institutions that are put in place constitutionally to fight corruption, like a Ethics Anti-Corruption Commission, we need to ensure that we fund them and we make them to not only back, but they also can also bite. At the same time, we ensure that whenever we want to make Kenya great, we should ensure we look at the youthful population, the energetic population, to ensure that we create job opportunities, and also we put money into their pockets. And we have also insisted on this for a long time. We need to industrialize this country. There's an urgency to make Kenya industrialization, whereby we create jobs for the youthful population, then we give them those jobs, then we give them the money into their pockets, then they can earn a living. So if we can focus on that one, and this issue of public finance management, then I think we can get as a country, because as things stand right now, it is quite difficult to get rid of everybody in the system. You can get rid of the people through electoral process, but there are some people will still remain there until, because you understand, there's some people who are serving until their last tenure. So to me, I can just say we need to ensure that as a people or as a leadership, we need to be realistic and practical whenever we are dealing with the publics. And these issues, like I just want to say, before 2022 election, we knew that there was nothing like bottom up, and we want Kenyans, but Kenyans went in and voted for him. And right now we are still wanting Kenyans. There's nothing like first world countries in the next 10 years. Kindly do not be misled by those things. Be realistic as a people, then you work on something that can work for the Kenyan people.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Miguda, for that. And just before we look at the reality check, especially we are looking at what is happening in Malava, that is Western Kenya, and Mbeere North, because this is like a rehearsal for what is going to take place in 2027. Members of Kenya's Maasai community filed a lawsuit in Narok High Court against Marriott Zits, Charlton Masai Mara Safari Camp. Others like Sela Camp opened along the Sand River in August 2025. They claim the structures violate riparian laws by building within 30 meters of the riverbanks, blocking corridors vital for the great migration over 2 million wildebeest. Despite approval from local authorities and NEMA, activists demand demolition and land restoration, pitting conservation ecosystem against tourism revenue and jobs. Hearing continue in November 2025 with no ruling yet. I hope you've seen in the internet what is happening along the migration route, especially for the wildebeest. There's I think there's a construction that has taken place there that is interfering with the movement. As you know that during the time when there's that great migration of the wildebeest, there's a tourist that usually come to witness that. So somebody had gone there and has constructed something there. So that is creating great disservice to the wildebeest migration. So there's a court. The Maasai activists have sued the luxury that hotel for doing that. So, gentlemen, there's something that here we want to look at, and we want to look at the 2025 upcoming by-election, especially of what we are seeing. Could this one be a rehearsal of what is going to happen in 2027? And we want to look at what role can IEBC play, remembering very well that right now there's an issue with one of the candidates who is vying, who have what we call the change of name, is the same person but has different name. It's also being claimed that he was not a voter in that area, and now is there. The same person was accused of involving in corruption cases. And how did the IBC gave him even a chance to run in that area? So that is something that also we have to look at. And what will happen in 2027 if in the by-election, that is what we are seeing. We are also going to look at if two by-election, or this by-election that we are seeing that great, what we call the violence. We saw what happened to Mbeere. Also today we saw Rigathi Gachagua was blocked from going to Narok. And these are just like a very, very smaller percentage of elections. These are by-elections. So what will happen when we go to the general election? And also this one is going to tell us how prepared our law enforcement, how are they going to carry out this election? Because election that, or this by-election, is not only for IEBC. No, it's about the people that are involved. And also is going to study how the Kenyans themselves, the voters at Mbeere, because now they are going to vote we are going to vote on the behalf of, they're voting on behalf of the country. So those are some of the things that we have to look for. So to start with you, Joseph, what is your take when you see the violence and all now the corruption cases that we are seeing and what the IEBC has done? What do you think of 2027 if all this is happening?
Thank you. As I continue to answer you, as you were speaking about first world, yesterday Kenya was invaded by Ethiopia. That was the news yesterday, and there is nothing they tried. But you know, it is we are a first world country. What will we say? So I'll start with what you have asked me. This is going to be a very today I saw those guys carrying machete. You know, I was watching that Rigiji convoy when he was entering Narok.
Yeah.
Those guys carrying pangas and rungus. And I saw them running, chasing each other in Narok. And that thing hit me because I remembered 2007. And I asked myself, where are we going? Because if this is just only 7 by-elections and the country is in high tension like this, what about 2027? What will happen? Because I think we need to have a sit down and know have political tolerance, because you cannot be that you want other people to campaign while others are not campaigning. You want your candidates to be campaigned for, but the other ones you don't want. You are using police and tear gas and using guns to disperse other people when they are coming to do campaigns. It is very unfortunate that our country is coming to this. And if we don't, 2007 did not start just 2007. It started way from 2005 when you started hearing that there was tension everywhere in the country. And that is the same thing we are going through. If we don't remedy this at this time and say no, we need to be cautious in what we are saying, and politicians need to be cautious, and also the government need to be cautious with what they are doing. This country, I think 2022 elections were left very peaceful. After the election, people were left very peaceful. So it's not a high chance that this government is going to take us to where we were in 2017. It will be a very difficult time, and it's so unfortunate. But for the by-elections, Brother Benson, I think IEBC has been a letdown, because there is no way that people are going to be harassed by goons, but the IEBC is not removing any official statement condemning these things or saying or giving, like the way they did in Homa Bay. I was expecting what they did in Homa Bay could have been done in other counties, other by-elections, so that people can be careful with what they are doing. But this is IEBC. What do we say? So we are waiting to see now the elections. We see what will happen, because I've heard today there has been words that have been thrown right and left. Some saying that the elections might be bundled. Others talking about no, the election will not be bundled. And some calling others warmongers. Some calling others that they are madmen. So I think also after the ballot is casted tomorrow, I hope there will be no on Thursday, please. I'm sorry, on Thursday, because only 2 days, tomorrow and Wednesday. I think when people cast their votes on Thursday, if there will not be any shenanigans during the voting or the voting day, I think after the voting there must be small shenanigans or small chaos, because people are going to be camping everywhere as they check in on their votes, and it's very. I think even IEBC could have created a model where the agents are only allowed, because if we have all these politicians and the government also is involved there, now everybody will be saying they are going there to guard the votes. So I think that on Thursday and Friday it will be a chaos day. So we are going to see. I'm hoping it will be okay the whole day, but we'll see. But talking about the by-elections, we are going close to them, and their campaigns have been closed today officially. So tomorrow they are preparing. The IBC is preparing tomorrow and Wednesday. Tomorrow and Thursday. Wednesday. I mean, sorry, I'm thinking about today, Tuesday. Tomorrow and Thursday and Wednesday they will be preparing for the by-elections. Then on Thursday we throw our balls to see what will happen. But we'll see. I cannot talk much on the by-election because, Brother Benson, now that one is for the voters to talk about. Now that one is left to the court of the Mbeere people to decide, the Malava people to decide, the people of Nyamira, the by-elections in Nyamira. I think it's called what, Kabuchai? No, Kabuchai is in Western, I think. So yeah, Kabuchai, Kariobangi, and the other places I saw another one. There were 7. So it's left to decide, and I hope they are going to place their votes to the right candidates. I think yesterday there was a debate. I don't know if you listen to my language, the one I speak, but there was a debate which happened in live here, and the people of Mbeere had got to hear what the candidates want to offer. But what do we say? We leave it to the voters because the campaign is over. But the campaign was mad with violence and shenanigans. I hope this one will be stopped before we go to the 2027 election.
All right, thank you so much. And let me invite my sister Ged Boreti. When I don't know whether you followed the campaign trail today. By the way, Joseph, there are about 24 by-elections that are.
Sorry, there are too many, and I wanted to answer. Please, before my sister enters, I wanted to answer about Magarini elections. Magarini, there is tension, Brother Benson.
Okay. All right.
There is tension. I've seen it in the evening. The governor of Kilifi has been talking. The governor of Mombasa also talked, and that is where they were throwing those words. And there is a lot of tension. And Gachagua was accusing, I think, the IBC chair of being biased. So I think also IBC should be very careful, Brother Benson. With those people they are giving them to be managers of the elections, they need to be very, very careful. Very, very careful. This one can ban a country. So sorry, my sister, for taking your time.
All right, and to my sister, maybe I know you're following, and I just want to know your perspective. If you look at how the money that has been used, especially for bribing even the residents, and you look at if this is by election of an area whereby you find that they're saying approximately over 200 million is being used. What about the general election, and what kind of general election are we going to have, especially when a smaller or mini poll costs such much? What about the general election?
Was this the same government which said they found empty coffers? Because if it was, where is all this money coming from? Well, Gachagua came out and said, but before that, I've always wanted Gachagua to clarify about that empty coffers. Was that just a myth, or was there some truth in it? Well, coffers ilikuwa empty ama ilikuwa ni story tu za jaba, as the youngsters says. Gachagua himself have come out recently said there's some houses, politicians' houses, is filled up with money in containers in the backyard. So whether there's truth in that, who knows? But then again, Ruto has been borrowing a lot of money coming in the country. And this money, we haven't been filling it in the country. There's not any infrastructure bill. the same hospital, coming to the hospital, by the way. Ruto is very silent of late. Kama kuna mtu amesasa out, is very silent of late about the chief and SHA. Because usually statement ya kwanza Ruto akienda pahali will be the first thing to say, hospitali joinigi chief, you need to join it, tumefanyia itakuwa cheap. Since Raila Odinga died, which he died abroad, if the chief and SHA was working, what was the point of taking Raila Odinga abroad? Because if the hospital in the country are working, what's the point of taking somebody abroad who's very prominent to the country, to the growth of the country? Hiyo ndio ingekuwa example kubwa kuonyesha kweli chief and SHA is working, because mwenzetu wako hapa hakuenda hospitali yoyote ya nje, alienda hapa kwa nchi to prove the hospital is working. Since ifanyike huyo mtu na Kenya ndio sasa, this guy is not talking about chief and SHA anymore. Nobody, no, hakuna politician yoyote ameongelea kwa chief and SHA since the incident. Ama correct me kama niko wrong. Kuna yote kweli?
Very few talking about how it works, but like they work, but there's that bad part of it. It's not like he's working. You know, when you speak about that, remember the other day when I think she was a legislator that said that there was Mama Kioi who had to pay, I think 3 million, and SHA paid 1.5. Is it one? Was it 3.5? And I remember he said that he called the president, and president cleared the other bill. Joseph, can you remember how much was it?
Those are just dramas, Brother Benson. Those are artists. You don't know the artists. They just say that there was that bill and the president cleared this bill. Why are they still? If SHA is working, there's not supposed to be any addition of any money. Kuadizia pesa yoyote, even 1 shilling.
Exactly. Why would the president be forking out money which is supposed to be from the government to pay 1 point something? President, his wages is 1 million. Anapata wapi pesa kupatia mtu just like that 1 million because to pay for the hospital? Then huyo ni mtu mmoja tu, na the whole country is absolutely in dire strait vile amesema. Mimi naona huyu mtu anachezea watu until people start opening their eyes. I don't believe in this Kenya election. It's always been selection. It's never election. It's always been selection. Kwa sababu kama ingekuwa ni kweli election from 2007, hiyo tunajua clear who was winner. But because of the selection, tukapata mtu mwenye alikuwa selected who are the winner. In Kenya, we've never had election. We've always had selection. Na huku tunafungwa macho na pesa huku na huku na huku. Gachagua mwenye as a leader, mwenye ana group ya watu wenye anasema we can lead the country to be whatever they say, you know, stories out. Yes, nakuja naambia watu, mkipatiwa pesa chukua. That is so wrong in so many levels. That's morally wrong. Usiambie watu nayo unajitangaza unasema mimi ni kiongozi. Unaambia watu chukueni pesa na msifanye hivi. That's thievery. That's robbery. Kwa Biblia, alafu wewe bibi yako ni pastor? Hello? Really? Unaweza kwenda kuambia watu kitu kama hiyo? Ati chukueni pesa lakini msiende mkavote. Hakiendeni tu lakini mchukue pesa. That is so wrong. Naambia Kenya wetu, msichukue pesa ya Ruto, msichukue pesa ya blah blah blah. Yoyote ule politician. Don't take any money. Hata kama utamvotia, usichukue money. Vote because of morals and principle. That is what we lack in Kenya. Kwa sababu kama leaders, wataenda, niliona kuna jamaa hapa hivi, alienda pahali akanunua mboga kwa sokoni. Alikuwa anapatia watu mboga leaves 5 leaves, and we all knows how sukuma wiki and spinach withers. Ukiweka kwa maji ina wither, ina tailed, inakuwa kidogo. Hiyo ni kama ukipatiwa 5 leaves, hiyo ni 1 spoonful. Utafanyia nini? That is the level of this politician want me to reduce to that extent. Na la pili tena ulikuwa umesema about Singapore. Ruto, he's trying to run before he crawl. Mtoto ana crawl kwanza ndiweze kukimbia. Kutembea ndio hata kukimbia afterwards. Hapa jikombeaje Kenya na Singapore? Sianzie hapo South Africa, sianzie Botswana, sianzie Gabon. Those are the country. Anzie hata siende mbali tena sana. Kantenye tuko kidogo president ametushinda kiakili, kidhamani, all the things. Anzie na nchi ya Burkina Faso. Only the way the country is being run by that young man is barely 40. That man is doing a great, fantastic leadership. He's doing fantastic. Huyu ndio watu wanafaa aanze kucompare nao. Anafaa compare na continent of Africa. Angalia, airport Ethiopia, sijaienda huko. Nasikia the best airport ever. Nasikia airport Tanzania, sijaienda huko. Nasikiaga tu story. They say it's so good. Lakini airport ya Kenya unakuja hapa, utafunguliwa mzigo, utaanza kuangaliwa, sijui bla bla bla. Jamani, Kenya yetu imeharibika na imetokomea. La mwisho, kama ulikuwa umesema kuhusu hoteli inatengenezwa, the Ritz Hotel inatengenezwa huko the Mara side. Inaona kuna politician, they've got their hands on it. Hiyo hiwezi katengenezwa kwa sababu ni pahali, it's natural reserve. Hakuna vile itatengenezwa without a prominent person having the hand in it. Na plus that, watu wanakuja kwenda kuona safari. You know, Kenyan, ama we Benfast unaendaga huko kwenda kuona hizo vitu zikifuka. I've never gone to see them. It's not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
Kuna watu wanaendaga huko kwenda kuona. Na watu wengi wanakujaga huku Kenya wakienda huko kwenda kuona. Wenye wangependa hiyo hoteli ijengwe hapo. We all know them. Their brotherhood, watu wa Freemason, wakina the King, wakina Bill Gates wanakujaga mabesti wa Ruto. Hao ndio wanataka hiyo place ijengwe huko. Apparently accommodation itakuwa $3,000 per night. The likes of me and you, we can't afford it. Hiyo ni watu the highest. My brotherhood or my Freemasonry ndio takuwa kiishi hapo. Na Ruto mikono yake iko hapo kwa hiyo pie.
So now and my question to maybe this is just something that I'm guessing. If something like that is taking place, then we have a member of parliament, a representative from that area. Are they not seeing such is happening so that they can even bring it to attention, or in their assemblies, or even in the August House where they can discuss this, or they tend to believe that something like that is not happening?
Of course they know it's happening. Absolutely, of course they know it's happening. But something is so huge. It's not something you can feature. Si eti hoteli imechengenezwa kwa anga kama myth story ingine nasemaga kuna a city Agatha ama Agatha. Only the people can see. There's a myth of that. People say some people say the truth. I don't know. I've never seen it. I don't know. Hiyo hoteli kujengwa hapo sio secret kwa sababu wanyama itabidi wa divert. Na divert kwa shamba za watu kwa sababu hiyo area watu wananunua usiku na mchana. Population ya Kenya ina grow. Mimi nakumbuka when I was young, hiyo side za Naivasha kulikuwaga na giraffes, kulikuwaga na a lot of baboons, a lot of monkeys, kulikuwa na wanyama pori wanavuka karibu barabara. Unaona kabisa gari ndio inasoma wanyama inavuka. They're not there anymore kwa sababu watu wamejenga. Population is growing, watu wanajenga maplot. Sasa hiyo hoteli kwenda hapo, hiyo wildebeest movement itabidi ipitie kwa plot za watu. Na hiyo ikipitia kwa plot za watu, hawa maskini wenye hawawezi kuafford whatever $3,000 per night, itabidi wakuwa kicked out. No, they want to be kicked out. They have to move kwa sababu the government will turn blind eye. Itabidi wa move out of that area because of their own safety. Of course, the government know this is happening. We nani will so blow hii kwa sababu obviously not the government. Hawa watu wanajifanyaga opposition leader. They're all on the same game. Na mimi nachukia, naombie niko hapa. When you choose Matiang'i, you're all heading to the pit, the darkest pit ever with fire in it. I've said it and I will say it again and I'll say it. Kuna mtu mmoja mwenye naona anaweza kulidio Kenya. Sitamtaja jina kwa sababu sitaki mkuje blame 2028. Mseme ule Boriti alituambia. I'm not saying no, lakini kuna one person, I see it. Huyo mtu tukimpatia opportunity na chance, he can make I could be wrong, he can make a difference. Lakini people, we don't want to see him because he doesn't have, what it takes in our Kenyan eyes.
He doesn't have money because money talks, especially. And what have you done? All right, Makobura, how are you doing, sir? Ma? All right. Miguda, also, maybe I just want you also to share your thoughts, especially because we are seeing a situation whereby people are being lined to get the money, especially in this by-election, and the violence also that Joseph spoke about. And this is like a rehearsal of 2027. It means that 2027, we will be much will be used. And even like the other day, I saw the legislator, that was Arun Cheriot, was asking if it is this small one, ndio maana umeingizwa baridi, now ikikuja the whole country, how will you react? So Miguda, what is your take on everything that you are seeing in the by-elections that we are having, be it violence, be it on how the security agencies are handling this, be it the opposition, how they are doing their campaign, even on the government side? What reflection does it give you, especially when you look at 2027? Are we going to witness the same, but on a higher voltage, or it's going to be lower voltage? Mr. Miguda left. Mr. Joseph, are you there?
Good job left, because I can add something. Good job, okay, Mr. Miguda left. Can I just say something just quickly, just for a minute or two? Nataka kutoka kidogo naenda Mbeere.
Yeah. All right, no problem.
About this election, my brother Ben.
Yeah.
It is, unajua mimi sielewi hata Kenya yetu. Mimi hiyo ile tukulia Mungu, sielewi what's happening kwa sababu I don't follow Kenyan election, kwa sababu mimi deep down I know has never been election. It's selection. They choose mwenye wanajua huyu ndio tampatia kiti, lakini wata tutupe Benson ndani in the mix, alafu tujifanye ni Benson tunataka, lakini in real sense ni huyu mwingine ndio tapata kiti. I just want to say that msiwe si attempt to danganywa na hawa politicians. They think they're smart. Well, they're smart to other people, but some people who suss them, they see them through for what they are. We do. I don't believe them. Yeah, that's all.
My question to you is then what next, especially after even you who is voicing to the public like, oh, this is not what you think it is, but sometimes you find the reception of the voters themselves is that like when you bring something that has concrete like that, they tend to dismiss that and go with what politicians are saying. Where do you see us going as a country?
Do you know what? We had a fantastic opportunity. Ile wakati wa ilikuwaje ile maandamano. Hiyo ndio ilikuwa chance yetu ya escape from the Sabibo. Hii Sabibo yenye tuko. Ilikuwa ni our opportunity. Lakini tulimiss it with our whisker. Raila alidump watu. Semeni tu kweli. Ndio, don't paint somebody nice because they died. You know, because they're dead. You know, kwa sababu amekufa, unajua tunasemaga alikuwa mzuri. Come on. Usembieni, let's say for what it is. You know, truth is always truth. Whether we like it, whether we say it in a light or we say it in a dark, will always be the truth.
Yeah.
Raila hapo alikufa. Kwa sababu that was the perfect opportunity ya sisi kwa maandamano kurusha the gava. Sasa yeye akatuacha, waka-join your government, and then he goes in and dies. And he leaves us in the light. Ametuacha matani. Yeye ameenda kakufa, so then what? Ametuacha matani basically. Kwa sababu alituambia this is not the way. Okay, nakuja kwa Said Ruto. We'll work things out. And then what? Ametuacha na ule jambazi ule moja. The same Lucifer is still standing on that hill. Na hiyo rungo yake na macho zake nyekundu na kila kitu na meno yake nyeupe. Hiyo Lucifer ndio tuko nayo. Maandamano ndio ingetuwezesha, lakini for sasa mimi sijui where we're heading. We absolutely heading so in the wrong direction.
All right, thank you so much. Miguda is back.
Brother Benson, let me cut the tension and say, Mamudhene ni fire. Mamudhene ni noma. You know, there is a certain guy trying to pretend like on a base.
We will talk about Deputy President. Naona alikuwa amekasirika sana na kampeni ilipandisha pressure yake. Kaongea, lakini Miguda, labda tu nikuulize swali kakangu, kwa sababu yale ambayo tunaona yanafanyika, tunaona kwamba ongo ambayo tunaona, unapata kwamba watu wameweka foleni mrefu sana, wanaongwa, ile pesa ambayo inatumika katika kampeni ambayo imepita zaidi ya yale ambayo inahitajika kikatiba, na bado wanasiasa wapo tu wanaendelea kufanya hivyo. Pia tunaona wale ambao ni waajiri wa serikali ambao kisheria hawakubaliwi kufanya kampeni ama kuingia katika safara ya kampeni, tunaona wamo hapo ndani. Hii inakupatia picha gani? Na unaona kwamba tunaelekea pali pazuri ama tunaelekea pali ambao sisi ni watu ambao wanavunja sheria, lakini tunataka kuenda katika zile nchi za Singapore, lakini bado tunavunja sheria?
Okay, I just want to say that even if there is a regulation on how much to spend in campaigns as per the IBC regulations, but it only point out the amount an aspirant should spend in campaigns in terms of facilitation, how to facilitate a campaign. But it doesn't describe that you need to bribe voters. You know, bribing voters is electoral malpractice. It's one of the reasons you can go to court after election when you want to petition that. Among my petition, maybe I have 10 petitions. One of them should be election malpractice, whereby electors were bribed, and you have the video evidence to prove that, including photo evidence to prove that actually person XYZ bribe voters who vote against my opponent. So that can be a strong defense if you want to petition in the court. And after we have agreed that voters should not be bribed, and then you find out that we have some institution or some people who are not supposed to be part and parcel of electoral process. For instance, chief should give way. You find that chiefs, if they are using chiefs, people have different roles. Like the referee here is IBC, the body that oversees the elections. They are independent, they are non-partisans, and they act on the interest of the people. And the police officers have a duty to ensure that the polling stations are safe from interference of the IBC and the voters. They should just provide security, and the people participating in the election, they should vote and go home. So you find out that right now there are people who are not supposed to take part and parcel of elections. Like it is abnormal to find a military taking part in it. What is it doing there? Even assistant chief, what is he doing there in the electoral? So you find even a CS, what is a CS doing in the electoral process? For you find Ruku participating actively to a point that he said he's going to guard votes as who. A CS, that's not the role of the CS. So you find out that, having said that, the issue of voter bribery, the issue of non-parties taking place in the election, these ones can lead to after, when people will petition, because I understand these elections, they are very competitive, and they will end in courts. Most of them are going to end in courts because they are very competitive. And even you have tried to put the question of Mbeere North. Remember, right now, the Oabe town lawmaker Opondo Kaluma have just accused the deputy presiding officer of Kasipul Kabondo that is in aligning with the Aroko Otete to ensure that compromise the presiding officer's polling station. And they are going to put him on notice, and any appointee from the deputy presiding officers to oversee the election of the polling stations, they are going to reject those. So you understand, even if to an extent that if they can declare Aroko, the people of ODM in Kasipul Kabondo will still proceed to court on the ground that they won the deputy presiding officer earlier. So all in all, what I'm trying to say that I also had Kindiki threatening somebody that he has been the interior CS and he can remove clothes, he can make him naked. So I don't know when he was the CS for internal security. So those threats, I just want to believe that they're political sentiments, but they are not factual things that they can turn to be reality, because some of them are contrary to the provisions of our laws. Some of them are contrary to the electoral laws, and IBC also should come out and condemn the parties, both the Rigathi Gachagua and Kindiki. They should be called out by the IBC and assure that it's neutral ground. And also IBC should come out and call out the people who are bribing voters. In fact, electoral malpractice should lead to somebody being expelled from running. So it should lead to those circumstances. And also, lastly, currently, as we are going for these by elections, I had Joseph saying they are going to be, I don't know, you or somebody say about war. I just want to say from the look of things, and also if you can talk to people from those constituencies, the people are charged, and people actually are going not to take anything less than victories. Both sides, for the information, both sides from the MCS, the Nyansiongo, you saw Matiang'i was on the ground in Nyamira. You saw today Farouk went to Kabuchai in that ward for rectangular ward, and also Manatemba. So each and every parties, they're not going to take nothing but victory. So to this extent, I can just say there's going to be, these elections are not going to be a smooth elections. They're going to be very tough elections, and to an extent, they're going to be violent elections. Let me say that.
All right, and you know what you're raising, and that is what we are asking. That does it mean that this is a rehearsal, especially of what we are seeing? This is a rehearsal for 2027.
I was forgetting that one. I was supposed to conclude that one. Okay. Yeah. This is a rehearsal for 2027 in my view, because the die has been cast, and you are either in united opposition or you are with the current president, William Ruto, because we have two wars here, and I want to buy Gachagua's thoughts. There is no third force. You are either going to support the current regime, or you are going to support the candidate from the united opposition. The third force cannot overtake the two people, because as things stand right now, the president has his people, and most of the people are aligned to the united opposition. So from what's happening right now, if you look at the current by-elections, all these by-elections we are going to experience on 27th, there's no third force in them. We have only two factions. We have the president team, the UDA Kindikis, and also the ODM and the Wangas, and the united opposition. So it's a two-horse race in my view. And if it can be realized in these by-elections, I can project that in 2027 is going to be between William Ruto and the united opposition. So what we want to experience today, Kindiki and the friends want to prove to the, it's going to be a reflection, also perception. You understand, politics is a perception that if we win these by-elections, this is how we are going to beat you in the 27 election. But if the united opposition wins these elections, they're saying, if we can manage Ruto and all the money and all the machinery, state machineries in this by-election, this is how we are going to win in 27. Remember, before 2022 election, we got the Msambweni by-elections, there was Georgia by-election, there was Kiamba by-election, and many other places. UDA was just a new party in town, a new kid in block. Then UDA swept all the by-election seats, including Msambweni where the ODM was there. And remember, even in Georgia and Kiamba, there were Jubilee candidates, but William Ruto won against Uhuru Kenyatta that time. So that winning mentality made UDA to win the 2023 elections. So if right now the united opposition can win this election, they will have that winning mentality, and it will motivate them so that they will make William Ruto one term. But if William Ruto can manage and succeed, the ODM and UDA can take all those seats. They will still have that winning mentality. I can tell that's how it works. There's sometimes you can have winning mentality, and through perception, you speak to the electorate. So when they will go to the polling station, they will say, okay, we are going to vote for this person because we want to be on the winning team. Don't think that all the electorates are rational in their reasoning. There are some who are not logic. They'll just focus on the wave and they say, okay, sisi ni one term, ama sisi ni two term. But few people are the one who can be like my good sister. They're the few people who can sometimes try to reason that, okay, let us look someone who is not Matiang'i. There are few, but the mass are not reasonable.
All right. Thank you so much. And I want just to comment before I invite in Marco Bura about what happened in Homa Bay, where Opondo Kaluma was really complaining about people, especially people campaigning some old politicians from the region, especially including former governor from Migori, Okoth Obado, visited Aroko. There's also Evans Kidero, he claims so, visited Aroko. He also talked about, who else visited Aroko? There were Magwanga too visited. So and that one brings you to about what we call the democracy, because like there's this idea that there are some politicians who believe that there are some areas that you cannot campaign as a person, but the constitutions allow you the freedom of association. If Okoth Obado feels that he can come and assist his friend to get some votes, what really stops him from doing that? Or because maybe this is an area that is zoned that this is our area, you don't need somebody to come and compete for that, because it's a free world. Makobura, how are you doing? Makobura. Okay, it seems that we have a problem with Makobura with his
Yes,
hello, Makobura.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Allow me to play with another machine daily enough to do.
All right, thank you so much, Makobura. We will be waiting for you. And by the way, niliona Pastor fulani anasema kwamba Raila alikufa. Sijui kama muliona. Nilikuwa nangoja sister yangu. By the way, I forgot. I wanted to ask that when my sister was here. At least she could have helped us to understand that. Now, this pastor that said that when Raila died, he went to hell. And because, like, I don't know, in 20 what, during the time of Ojobo Mino, he was in Freemasons. Then when the judgment came, his judgment did not come. Now, how do you know? How? Maybe Migoda, you are very strong Adventist, and at least you know more. How is that one? When is the judgment day? When is the judgment according to the Bible?
Okay, bro Ben, there is a lot of theories behind these beliefs, but what I can report to you from my own reading and my own research and my own theological perspective, when someone dies, the person is dead. And that one was demonstrated by Jesus Christ, that once you die, you are dead. And the route for you, or people say there's life after death. Of course, there's life after death, but there's no life in death. There's life in resurrection. That's we as Christians believe that we will die, but we will in resurrection. There's life, life with Christ in. But in death, there's no life. And lastly, when Stefano was stoned as one of the martyrs, and before he died, he opened up his eyes and faced at the heavens. So when he was facing at the heavens, he saw Christ. By that time, Jesus has already ascended to heaven, because Stefano died later. So he saw Jesus Christ sitting at the throne, and he smiled. Then later he died. So even at his death, according to me and my own reading, that's why I took it at my purpose self, Stefano did not went to heaven. And lastly, let me give it to David. David was very clear that when he was almost dying, he called Solomon, his son, and gave him some advice that Solomon, you be like a man. You should have wisdom, you should have knowledge, you be strong, and now you are going to be a king and take charge. So what am I trying to say? What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that he later said that even me, David, I'm here. I'm going to be buried here, and I'll be here until that time when Christ will come for the second time. That's when I'll. And lastly, also when Prophet Isaiah was doing his writings in the prophet world, Prophet Isaiah prophesied the coming of Christ, and he also said that I know, not Prophet Isaiah, sorry, Elijah, when Elijah was doing his ministry, he said that I know my Redeemer liveth, and in that time my Redeemer will come. But remember, Elijah went to heaven with the chariot of fire, but he knew his Redeemer liveth. So the Redeemer of the world, Christ, liveth. And lastly, right now, the grave of David, the grave of even Buddha or Muhammad, we have them here.
Yeah.
So until that time Christ will come, that's when all of us will resurrect. And if he comes when we are alive today, even tomorrow, we will go and meet him in heaven. So as we will just go direct, but the people who died will resurrect. So these theories we have told that, and these theological, which are not backed up by the Bible. You know, as a Christian, my reference is Bible. As a Muslim, the reference is Quran. But you find out that there are some people who are coming with theories like Raila was in hell, Raila was being those are content creators. But let me leave it at that point.
All right, thank you so much. There's also a developing story. I think most of you came across it before I invited Makobura. Drama in the Senate as Onyonka and Sifuna walk out of the Senate as the senators denied Sakaja to answer their questions. That was happening in the Senate. Makobura, how are you doing?
I wanted to comment before Makobura comes about that Bishop Mbeere. He commented about Raila being on hell. Already we know Asili TV is in Kenya. Asili TV is there, is reporting in Kenya. But we don't know Bishop Mbeere was reporting from where. Is it reporting from hell live or is reporting in heaven live? So we need to know where he was reporting this one from. We cannot take anything of. We need reporting from live. Najua hata wakati Lazarus alienda binguni na ule tajiri akaenda hell. Lazarus was reporting live from heaven. Na ule tajiri alikuwa na report live from hell na alikuwa anasema huku ni kumoto sana. Hata kama ni tono tu ya maji nitupie. Sasa tunataka tu atuambie. Najua huwezi kakuna report na wewe uko Kenya na ujui vile kuko hiyo side nyingine.
Okay, asante sana. Unajua nani saa zingine anyway.
I didn't know that Joseph is such a good man. I mean, good in.
Why do you want to know? Why do you want to know people's faith, Bwana?
And that is nice, Mr. Joseph. Nice to see you. Nice to see me, good. Nice to see your good friends. Good ear, and I've seen some new faces today. Allow me to recognize them. I've seen Reggie and DM. I've seen. Quite a number of new people. I've seen our good friend Shaima among others. Mimi hapa na wasalimu, najua nimepotea kidogo lakini mambo ni mengi. We hope for the best na niko area.
Okay, sawa ndugu yangu, labda tu swali tu, najua umepotea lakini bado unafuata siasa kwa sababu ni jambo ambalo tunazungumzia kwa saizi. Katika hizi uchaguzi mdogo ambazo zinakuja, tumeona vitu vingi. We kauli yako ni gani? Labda tukisema we ni kitu gani labda unaweza sema kwamba unaweza kusema kwamba umepitia ama umeona kwamba inafaa irekebishwe ama ifanyiwe mabadiliko?
Okay, thank you. You know, we always have the general elections. That is always the main election that we do have. And during that time, of course, we do elect starting from the president, the governor, senators.
Makobura, umepotea? Okay, sawa. Wacha tusubiri Makobura akirudi. Labda
make clear.
Yeah, you're clear. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm saying that people do invest a lot on the general elections, but normally we do have, it's normal to have the by-elections because at the end of every 1 year, 2 years, at the end of every 1 year, 2 year, normally we always have either leaders dying, or either we get to a point where we lose the representatives at the at the different levels. And now what do happen is that, remember, after every elections we do have what we call realignments, and all these realignments, they do come depending on the ground, depending on the view of the people on the ground, depending on what the leadership have done, especially those people who have been given the authority to lead. And so by-elections are always coming when there is too much political charge on the ground, where the leaders who are on the government side are tasked or have the have the point of coming out to clarify to the people that they were given the opportunity to serve. What have they done? That is always the question that are asked by the people. And again, those in the oppositions also have the always come out to say that we in the opposition, we were not given the chance, and now see the ones in the government are not able to do what is right. And so they are also convincing the citizens that give us time or align with us and we are going to save the nation. That is what we are currently seeing in the environment, in the political environment. And the by-elections are normally high charged, and it is partly a reflection of what the ground is saying immediately after the general elections. What we are seeing is a do or die, because the government puts a lot of pressure. They put a lot of pressure as a way of confirming to the people that they're still in charge. But again, on the other side, they are finding a citizen that is dissatisfied with how they're running they're running the government. They find a citizen that is not happy at all in matters of the delivery of the government. And so, this is coming out as a genuine way of the citizen then find themselves in a genuine way. Genuine point where they're coming out to give the reality of what is on the ground, whether they're supporting the government or whether they are on the opposition side. That is why we are seeing a lot of those in the opposition are not finding it easy to talk to the people, because the government is also out there to block them and to stop them from interacting, or according to the government side, spoiling the minds of the people. So it is there's much that by-elections do come with, and currently, depending on different constituencies, we will have people having different interests based on the political realignments that we've had. For example, you go to Nyanza, specifically in Kabondo, we are seeing ODM working with UDA, probably. And remember, it's like a stronghold for ODM. I can guarantee, I can assure you that ODM is going to win with the combination of the government, that particular seat. If you go to Mbeere, remember Mbeere, we are having two political giants, that is the current deputy president and the former AG. And of course, the former AG is also getting support from the former deputy president. And for that reason, that particular place is a political battleground. And again, there is much that we will come to learn out of that area. If it turns out that it goes to the opposition, it will be a typical reflection of what the people of that area, the mountaineers or the Murimas, are thinking about this government. But if it goes on the side of the government, it is also going to bring what we call going back to the ground and also re-strategizing, because it will be affirmation that the government is still loved and it is still, it still has its presence in that particular area. But again, if you go to places like Western Kenya, Western now is at a point where Raila Amolo Odinga is no longer there, who has been the kingpin and has controlled the Western part for quite a long here. A long period. But at the same time, remember, there are some small political parties which are also ganging up or coming up. Remember the DAP coming up to be a very strong party in that particular area. Of course, we are seeing the governor of Natembeya also coming out, positioning himself as the kingpin of that particular area. And, he's not finding it easy conversing with the people, convincing them that the government has not done much.
Okay.
On the other side, we're seeing the UDA and this team also, using all the government power, using the machineries to also, try reach on the people. We are seeing the speaker, we are seeing the Ford team also on the ground, and it is a do or die.
All
And
right.
it is going to be a typical reflection of what we are going to see. It is going to do the realignment, the political realignment, and it's going to change the view of the politics that you're going to see up Mbeere. That is my take.
All right, thank you so much Makobura. And talking about that, Father Dani, tulikuwa tumeongea juu ya huyu mhubiri alisema kwamba kuhusu kifo cha Raila, alienda Jehanamu, then malaika wakatumwa na vitu. Hebu tuambie, sifa anawaribia sifa. Inafaa wakuwe watu ambao wanasema vitu ambazo zinaweza sijui naweza semaje. So because there are so many confusion, I would say that especially in Western Kenya, when you look at Malava, to be very specific, how the support, especially look at ODM did not fill a candidate, especially because they know the UDA was filling a candidate, so they had that gentleman agreement whereby they say that now the broad-based is a broad-based candidate whereby both ODM and UDM are going to support that. Again, you look at the governor of Kakamega is supporting the UDA candidate, because ODM had that one. And DAP deputy governor, who is also a member of DAP, is supporting the UDA governor. And Boni Aluale, who is the UDA candidate, is supporting DAP candidate. So there's that confusion around that Kakamega and around the Kakamega, especially Malava constituency. And as Ayaga has said, if you look at the number of days Farouk Kibet has camped in that constituency, it means this election is very important to President William Ruto, because when you see Farouk Kibet in that area, it tells you the presence of the president, even though the president has not gone there personally, because he has camped there more than even Mudavadi himself, who should be actually campaigning for that constituency, being that he's member of that constituency belonged to a member of his party, which he then folded. So as we speak, he doesn't have a party. He just supports somebody because they're very close to him. Now, that is what is going to happen. But all in all, when we're looking at, because I said that this is like a rehearsal of the election of 2027, there's so many things that we are going to learn, or so many things that we have to look at. First of all, we are going to look at how is government agencies, especially, how are they going to deal with the security? How are they going to handle the opposition? How are they going to handle the election altogether? So that is something that we have to look, and this is going to be like a litmus test for them, especially the agencies going towards 2027. So this is like a reflection of what might happen in 2027. If they don't handle it well, then it means 2027 we will put in a question mark for them. We also have to look at the IEBC, and one of the things that even now questioning the IEBC is how did they have to clear somebody who had corruption case that was laid against him, and even the change of the name. When did this one happen, and what did they do about it? That is a question that is there. And in the event that the UDA candidate wins Mbeere, I dare the following day somebody will be in court to challenge his involvement and raising all these questions that were brought. So that is something that also we are looking at. So we have to look at the government agencies or the security agencies. How are they going to conduct themselves during this by-election, and how are they going to handle the people? Then also we have to look at the IEBC, because this is a litmus test for them. They are still new in the office. So if they don't do it well, then that tells you what is going to happen in 2027. Again, it is also a time that we are going to learn the pattern of the people of Kenya. How is the people of Kenya going to vote in Mbeere? What are going to be the driving factors or the driving pointers to the ballot box? Because like the entire of that election or the entire of that campaign that we've seen, I've not seen a policy-oriented campaign. Even coming from the deputy president, coming from Ruku, apart from public engagement in terms of insult, ndakuvua nguo, Kanene. The other time I saw, I don't know who is called Stacy. I was seeing on the comments, mbono unamunasumbua Stacy. So there are so many things, but I did not see any candidate that is coming up with policy oriented, and this is what I'm going to do, including the one that we are seeing in Kasipul, Kabondo, Malava. It's about the power contest. It's about the power. So how are we going to vote? What is going to be the driving factor on the on the ballots, and what is going to be the outcome, and how are people going to get those outcomes? Are we going to see the issue of rigging in that election? So if there will be a rigging, or if there will not be fairness, so that tells you what is coming up for 2027. Makobura, can you hold on for me for a minute, or you're not?
It is okay. I can.
All right, because we still have Joseph and Miguda.
Okay, yeah. So the only thing that I'm not sure of is what is still pending, but Miguda is here. Maybe he can guide us. Like, I'm here. I'm here.
All right, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much for this opportunity. Allow me to, of course, proceed. Miguda, I'm here. I'll be taking the full charge of the host side, but you've been here, so kindly, Miguda or Joseph, you can guide us for the remaining 10 or 15 minutes before we call it a day. Miguda or Joseph, who is gonna...
Okay, let me start by saying, in these by-elections, we are going to learn so many things. There is so many name calling that have been received in these by-elections. Brother Benson asked about what policies will they bring what policies are they bringing forth so that they can be elected as governor, as members of parliament or MCAs. But I think right now we cannot fully crunch see the policies that they are going to bring, only because this is an infighting between parties and between individuals. So I think that is the problem that is making us not to see well the policies that they have. So even for the electorates down there, it's becoming very difficult for them to know who is going to take over. Is the leader going to take over going to be a leader who is going to work for the people, or a leader who is going to help his or her people? But talking about the name callings, we have received so many of the name callings, starting with the Bible callings, the Goliath, and the likes of Mene Tekel. So it has been I think 1 week of shenanigans and 1 week of too much of lighter notes, and also there have been chaos and so much things. But during the Thursday, if IEBC is not careful, they need to check on this voting pattern that will be done. They need to check on how the people are going to vote. If there's going to be any malpractices that are going to happen in the polling centers, they need also to check for Friday when they are counting these votes, because I think after they are cast and everybody has cast, now they start counting the votes. So it will begin on Thursday and maybe end on Friday. So I think they need to be careful at this moment, because that is what is going to show if IEBC is truly going to deliver free and fair elections in 2027. One more thing I want to talk about is about the chaos, the chaos that have been witnessed. As Brother Miguda here was saying, that those places that are going to have this by-election, they are now left in a tense moment. Everybody wondering how will it be after, and during the election day, how will it be? I hope we can try to down it a bit as we go to the elections. Between tomorrow and Thursday, they need to down it a bit so that the people can be able now to relax and know now for the certain leaders they are going to vote. But most probably money is going to exchange hands. even in the election day, even maybe, and that's why the IBC officials that are being brought, they need to bring IBC officials. First, the main officials who are the managers, I see they are being called managers, they need to be very careful with the counting of the votes, the delivering of the results. It is not going to be an easy task for them. So on Friday, as we are hoping, maybe we'll be having the new MPs and MCAs who will be brought in. But if it's like that, Brother Benson is saying some people have changed their names. It is very difficult, because if you are changing your name here often, maybe when you're taken to a court of law, it will be even difficult for you. But we are hoping to see what will pan out in this remaining few days. I think it's 4 days. We will just be here knowing before we know the winner of the by-elections. But I think I can give to my friend Miguda to say something.
Okay, thank you, Joseph. I just want to say something very brief. In my understanding that we are going to have by-elections across the country, but because we are going to have a one ballot box and one ballot paper, I think it's going to be very fast. People are going to vote very fast, and verification will do very fast. The only challenge is that, once the polling station has been open, it must be closed by 5 p.m. So I think by 5 p.m. there will be no counting. So counting will begin immediately after 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. to say so. But counting also will be very fast, because we are only counting one. If we can get the presidential election before midnight in our election, because we usually start with the presidential election ballot. So if you can get the result before midnight, what about these by-election? I think before Satano we'll have the results, and we don't expect the results on 28. And to me, I can just appeal to our people that let the best candidate win. That's democracy, and it should be free, fair, verifiable, and transparent, because there are very few. At polling station, you cast your ballot, you walk out, then counting begin, tallying, then declaration. It should be final at the polling station, and I think the tallying will be very expeditious, so that before we return to our bed, we will know the winners across the country. And in case of any violence, we should restrain, because that's why we have court. And in case of any attempt of election malpractice, including rigging, bribing votes, even to bribing votes on the election day, those things should be castigated, because it's very wrong to influence someone to vote for somebody. Those are things that are very wrong. They can cause chaos, because if you are giving people money on a queue, people can decide to fight over the money. Then we can lose lives. So we don't want to lose many lives. We have lost enough. We are tired of losing lives. We can even as the people, we can say enough is enough. We have lost many lives. Why is it that we must lose life because of election? So I can just say that there are some activities that have happened before, during, and we don't want to see them happening after elections. Those are the things we are happy with the people. But all in all, we need always to understand that it's a democratic exercise. It's not a do die, like what my good brother Makura was saying. It should not be a do or die. It should be a democratic exercise, whereby if you are defeated, there's always next time. If you are declared the winner, work for the people. There's another challenge. You can declare the winner, then you go and dine with the people in government. You fail to work for your people. No one is going to re-elect, because we are just a year to election. I think 27, 2 years to election. So anybody will be elected, kindly work for the people. That's how you will be re-elected. If you don't work for the people, that's your problem. And also, there are people who are going to fall. If you supported any candidate and people disappointed you, for instance, if you are supporting a candidate and people vote against you, you are going to fall with that your candidate. The people will speak loud, And that's how even 27 elections are going to be projected. Then some people will be given pressure that, okay, you promised to deliver, you never delivered, get out. I'll work with the people who can deliver. So I think that's how it's going to be, but we hope that the country should always be safe and people should not lose their lives because of just a by-election or even election or any other activity. The challenge we are having as a people, we have seen accusation that there are officials who are actually taking sides. Those are just mere allegations, but we are yet to confirm them. But also, he who alleges must prove. These people who usually allege without proving, people like Aloma, why do you allege without proving? So I don't know why. The other time they were alleging that they know people Kilongondo, they will mention those people. Up to date, they have not mentioned anybody Kilongondo. So this nonsense of alleging for political mileage should stop in this culture whereby people just allege things that I know Kilongondowere, I will report this person. But why can't you mention that person? Then this another thing. I know there is a deputy presiding officer with the another candidate. Why can't you come out clear? You know the avenues. You can institute a case against those people. You can use your constitution, Article 22, 23 to institute cases against those people. So we should differentiate between propaganda in politics and real issues. But we are disappointed as Kenyans and other people because none has actually tell the people Sarah. They are instead giving us pesa, not Sarah. So they are giving us pesa, not Sarah. We don't need pesa. We need Sarah. So Kenyans should look at where we are heading to. Up to now, there's no clear reason to elect either.
Okay, thank you. Miguda, are you there? Are you there, Miguda? Okay, I don't know what has happened. Joseph, am I clear? Kindly confirm.
Yes, you're clear. I think Miguda has.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Maybe my last question to be before we close is, now that we're seeing consistency on how political class are taking this thing serious, the by-election serious, to an extent that we've seen quite a number of people even killed as the campaigns are going on. We are seeing serious even threats from politicians to politicians. What lessons can we learn, Mr. Joseph, from all these by-elections, and what lesson can we learn as a people when we are going to the elections? And maybe you can also give us your take on, do you think the IEBC has what it takes to run these particular elections? And do you think they've asserted or they've used the powers they are given by the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya to ensure that there is peace and order, especially during these campaigns? The other day we saw them fining some politicians, the Kasipul candidates, 1 million each. Do you think that is the right way? They are bringing back the sanity in the electoral, in electoral practices? Or do you think they've been given too much power and they're not putting things in order? Mr. Joseph, you can give us your take on that and then your final remarks. And then Miguda would also come and give his take and final remarks.
Thank you, brother Marco Bura. I think IEBC, as the way it stands unconstituted, it will not give a very credible elections. They are just going to bundle. How I know that they are not going to give credible is the way you are seeing they are conducting themselves. If you hear that already, we have had instances of people talking about IEBC officials being bribed. It's very unfortunate. I don't see an instance where we are going to see. Yes, there is going to be push and pull. People are going to go to those polling centers to demand that IEBC gives them the agents who are going to be deployed there. We'll go there to demand them. But as for the goodwill of IEBC, I don't see a place where they are going to give us a good verdict or good results, even in 2027. I think they are, until we know how to deal with this body. The problem is they're given too much power, but they don't use it. Now, for example, today there have been chaos in a campaign period. Who is supposed to to check on those things that are happening in the campaign trail about chaos and everything. They are the ones who are supposed mandated to do those kind of acts. And if it is finding these candidates or even sometimes banning them from contesting. So I think IEBC is just one of the truthless bodies which are backing, but they are not biting. It's the same as NCIC. But the real issue is, if they don't give a credible elections, Brother Marco Bura, this is the scenario where they say ni lazima ama ni lazima, because it is a problem. It is a big problem. So to comment on Mbeere and Kasipul, I'm hoping that it's going to be peaceful when they are voting, and it's going to be peaceful when they are counting, because this has been very volatile. Even I saw Narok, it is very volatile now. And the situations, and even in Magarini, now it is. We are just praying that everything will be okay when they are voting. Because when I saw those pictures of people carrying machete and pangas, I felt even something. A cold shiver brought to my spine, so I felt very shocked. But for my final comments is, we'll be here. We are tomorrow and Thursday, tomorrow and Wednesday. It will be a time to relax. Then we see how the IBC is preparing for this. I think I saw a comment by Shima Hussein. I don't know if it is true when she said that there is a polling station which has, I don't know, it has been burnt or something. I would like her to clarify for me, because she has said that it is I think in Magarini. I think I would like her to clarify for me, because I never understood it more. But if these are the instances that are coming now forth before even we go for an election, I think things are dying. So thank you, Marco Bura. Thank you, Miguda. Thank you for the people in the comment section. Eric, Dan, Father Dan, Sheima, and Goodia. I want to thank, I saw before Brenda, and I saw Judith before there, and I also saw Gitonga and Renegade DM. So I want to thank everybody.
Maybe before you leave, Joseph, you can just give us what you think. You can just tell us that, for example, in Mbeere, this is who you think is gonna take it based on what you've witnessed in those particular area. There's nothing wrong. Sometimes you can just give your take based on what you've seen. What is your view? For example, in Mbeere, Malava, Magarini, are you seeing certain political parties taking it, or for example, in Mbeere, which we understand there's more of clan and culture, people who make the decisions, and then you also have, for example, in Kasipul, where the death of Raila is still a big thing and partly confusing here and there. People are left, right, and center, and decided they do not know whether to go right or not. You go to Malava, there's also that kind of confusion where the governors in opposition are fighting it with the speaker and those in government. You go to Magarini. What is your view?
Yes, I think everywhere. I think even after this by-election, one thing I wanted to point out, thank you for reminding me, is after these by-elections, people are going to align to the certain parties that they are going to go. Because if you look like in Malava, people are shifting, come to the other side. Like Boni Arwale is supporting the United Opposition candidate, and is part of the team in Kenya Kwanza. So, or even in UDA, even the ruling party. So I think after this by-election, so many people will shift. Others will enter United Opposition. Others will enter the government. So this is something that will happen after the by-elections, and how the by-elections are going. The winners of the by-elections are going to tell it all. But I think in Mbeere, I always argue with Eric there, and I tell Eric Ayaga that in Mbeere, the DP candidate is going to take that seat. I think we have been arguing at it with him. For Malava, it's a very tight race between Seth Panyako and Dakwa. But I'm hearing very positive results of Seth Panyako. I saw even some people, I don't know which party which endorsed him today. Even ODM, I think they're supporting Seth Panyako Seth Payako. And then in ODM Kasipul, I think that one will be tricky. Me going, I would like to say Boyd the son of Were, but I can see something happening there. You know, the full ODM army brigade has not been campaigning there. So I think they seem like there is a friction and some people they are divided, they are scattered, because even today I saw somebody write to Babu Obino and Sifuna. I don't remember which MP had written to them and asking them, when are you waiting to campaign? And the campaigns have ended today. So I think where it's a tight race, I cannot be able to mention, but I sitaki kuwa nionekana niko bias. In Magarini also is another case where ODM is battling it out with DCP. So all these by-elections have termed, they will be hard by-elections. They will be very hard. So we are waiting to see the results. It's good I can come here and give the predictions, but I think the voters of Mbeere, the voters of Malava, the voters of Magarini, the voters of Kariobangi, the voters of Baringo, and the voters of other, because I had their 24, they are going to decide on the future of their leaders, the leaders that they are going to choose. I saw Shima asking, does MP need Sarah? I think MPs have only 3 laws. Yeah, MPs have only they have the roles that they are given in parliament, but don't forget they also have other roles that they are given when they become chairmen and members of certain committees. So when you are a chairman or you are in a certain committee, it's very good for you. You can be able to allocate funds for your constituency and your members, even if it is that one for education. You can be able to take a portion from the education. You can be able to unaweza jiongelea sana about your constituency when you're a member. So that's why there is always this fighting for MPs and what they are going to do. You know, you remember also they have bursaries, and they have, so bursaries also build some schools and some of the things. CDF, I mean, it builds some of the school classrooms. It always builds some of the police stations, and it builds also, it is given for bursary. So yeah, they have the roles, which is registration, but also they do other roles. We know it's not just like we are fallen from Damascus, Jerusalem. We are here in Kenya and we know what they do. So we are going to wait, brother Mark. Zimebakia tu siku mbili hata Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday tuingie tuone mambo vile itaka, then Wednesday tujue, but this is battlefield. This is what I'm going to call it. Then Father Daniel ameniambia I never predict election. Utashangaa. Just analyze. Yeah. Thank you, Father Dan.
Okay, thank you so much. Miguda, are you there? You can also give us your take on what to expect in these different constituencies. You can tell us the role that the IEBC is playing and whether they're doing it based on what the Constitution has given to them, or the authority that has been given to them by the IEBC. I mean, by the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. You can give us your take and then your final remarks. Miguda.
Okay, my sincerely honest opinion is that IBC has been compromised and captured in these by-elections. IBC has been compromised, and they're working under instruction from somewhere. They're working under instruction from some quarters, and that's why there is room for electoral malpractices, bribing voters, spending more than what is required. So I think they're going to work for the people who are going to there. So what I can just say is that what I know and what I'm certain that it's not going to be easy. It's going to be violent by elections in those constituencies from what we are gathering from the ground. People are going to do it it's going to be violent. So expect any winner. Expect anyone to win, but it's not going to be easy. Lastly, I can just say, like, initially I predicted that Kasipul Kabondo it's going to be ODM. But there have been some developments, and also we are able to read through. You saw the former governor of Migori, you saw former governor of Nairobi, Kidero and Obado respectively, going for Tuaroko, and also deputy governor for Mabei. These people never came before. And also, you heard also what Obado said when they were in Aturiri. They talked about state. And lately, there's an accusation from Pondo Kaluma that deputy presiding officer has been compromised by the opponent. So you understand what can happen. That's what I'm saying. Of course, I predicted, but we expect anything to come out of it. So, Makobudo, that's what I can say. And allow me to say my last thoughts. I want to appreciate everyone who came to the show. Joseph, also Brother Benson for hosting, and Ima Kobura, Eric Ayaga, thank you for your contribution in the comment section. Father Dan, our good friend Goodia, Judith Karita, Hussein, Solaban Misiani Gitonga, and also our sister who was here in the show. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you so much. Allow me to also take this opportunity to say a big thank you to everyone. I've been away for some days. Mambo ni mengi lakini nakazana, nikipata nafasi ndio nikuwe najiunga na wenzetu, ndiposa pia mimi nipeane maoni yangu. I just want to take this opportunity to appreciate, especially those of you who have always been with us, those of you who have always stood with us. We really appreciate, and we pray that may the good Lord bless and protect each and every one of you. This is Brother Benson Media, and over here we do say that your opinion counts. What we do here is we give our view and analysis of the political happenings in the Republic of Kenya, and we are not politically aligned. We simply direct, or we give our views based on what we think is right or what we think is good for the nation. Once again, this is Brother Benson Media, and here we say that your opinion counts. Thank you so much for finding time to join us today. We appreciate all those people who joined, and especially those who commented, gave their view at the comment section. We really appreciate. You can see a good friend, a good year over there. Mambo ni mengi, masante machache. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. See you again tomorrow.